Hi, today we're going to be talking about essential oils. Now, having done a little bit of research, I do know that essential oils were used by the ancient Egyptians since 4500 BC. They were used for cosmetics and also for medicinal purposes. And this is where we're going to be talking today to Sam. And Sam has her business as Essential Oils. Hi, Sam.
Hi,
How are
thank you for
you?
having me. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So, Sam, tell us a little bit about essential oils.
Okay, so I've been interested in essential oils since I was a child, basically. I've always been fascinated by them. Most people just think of essential oils as smelling nice. Not all of them do, sorry, but a lot of them do smell lovely. However, I've always known about their medicinal properties. So I've used them for years to help with various different things that crop up, and it helps me avoid going to the doctors so much. So that's quite nice. So I just use them for like minor things, you know, when you get the sniffles, a bit chesty, sores on your lips, things like that. So yeah, just little things that you might have to go to the doctor for to get a cream or something, but not have to bother them with that. I can normally sort it out myself with my oils.
That would be lovely. Tell me, are essential oils and aromatherapy the same thing?
No, they're quite different. Although aromatherapists use essential oils as a tool, using essential oils on their own doesn't necessarily mean that they're being used in an aromatherapy way. So there are lots of different things. So there are quite a lot of separate courses, so you can learn about essential oils themselves or aromatherapy and how to use them in aromatherapy practices. So it's quite interesting. It's quite sciencey. Most people don't expect them to be that sciencey, but they are chemical compounds at the end of the day. So aromatherapy tends to be more about the way you use essential oils. Um, so in different ways like inhalation, putting them on your skin, in massage and things, whereas essential oils themselves have so many wider properties. You can use them for just like so much. They can help with lifting your mood, they can help with physical aspects, they can help yeah, just in so many different ways. It's quite hard to explain them. Basically, they were the medicine of ancient times, and they're still used very widely today as well.
That's great. So, can essential oils, you said about using them for health purposes. What about with brain issues? For myself, and I know for many other people, things like brain fog, memory, cognitive function, can that
Yeah,
be helpful?
yeah. So there's quite a lot of studies out there that show that that essential oils can help with lifting mood, with being able to focus more, more clarity. So like rosemary, for instance, is known for helping people with memory and to focus. I should have had some before I came on because then I'd help you with my speaking. So it helps them like with your confidence and things, and really helps you focus, and that's what's really good with rosemary. And then lemon is another good one for clarity and helping with focus. So if you're doing a task that you really need to focus on, lemon is a really good one to have in the diffuser, or just spray a couple of drops in the air. But if you need to remember it, rosemary is a good one to use them. You can use them both together, that's not a problem. So you can really choose specific oils to help you in specific ways. However, just remember that it is important that they are individual. We all react differently. And if we're on any sort of medication, vitamins even, and if we're taking anything else, we need to be mindful that some oils might interact with that vitamin or drug, and we may need to use a different option. And that's the great thing about essential oils, is that one oil does so many different things that if that particular one doesn't work for you for any reason, there's usually another one that will.
Okay, so it would be helpful to speak to a real aromatherapist to check if that particular oil would be is okay to take with your medication, because I know that most people with any sort of brain damage, particularly epilepsy, would be taking anti-epileptic medications.
Yeah, I'd definitely advise, if you're on any sort of medication, before using any essential oils, make sure you either talk to your doctor first. If you're going to talk to your doctor, find out what constituents are in the essential oils. I know that sounds a bit like sciencey and a bit, I don't really want to go into that. However, your doctor will understand that better than necessarily saying, can I use like lavender oil to help me sleep? They might not necessarily, they might just dismiss it, whereas if they have the actual constituents in them, which I could help you with if anyone needs any help, then they might understand it better and be able to advise you better, because unfortunately most doctors tend to stick to traditional medicine rather than branching out into complementary therapies as well.
You said constituents. As an aromatherapist, you know what that means. I don't.
Okay,
Can you
yeah.
explain that?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I forget sometimes that, yeah, using some terms that is not normal. So constituents are the chemical compounds which the plant is broken into. So some essential oils can have hundreds of these constituents. They'll have main ones which we'd tell your doctor. So don't worry too much. And then others are very have hardly any, so they'll have like 2 or 3, but they make them more dangerous. So the less constituents in it, the more likely you can't use it with medication. So the more constituents that are in it makes it a safer oil to use. So as I said, it is confusing, and it is good to talk to somebody who actually knows about essential oils or aromatherapy, because it can be a bit confusing. It's an unregulated market which does not help in any way, shape or form, but equally it's nice in a way because, well, I'm not really sure. It's unregulated anyway, and I'm not sure if regulations would make it any better, but it would make the information easier to find, because when you start reading online, there's a lot of misinformation, lots of conflicting information, so it is really, really difficult to wade through that all. So I do advise anyone who wants to start on this to speak to somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Don't go to Google then.
No, Google would just explode your head, I would imagine.
Oh, well.
It is really, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe all this stuff I'm reading.
With the best will in the world, anybody that's listening or watching to us today, they don't need anything else to mash up their brain.
Oh no. So yeah, avoid Googling. Yeah, avoid Googling essential oils. It's really not what you need.
Okay, that's good. One thing I know you said about rosemary for memory, which is brilliant. I will definitely be speaking to you after this about my memory. One of the things that I do suffer with, and I know a lot of other people suffer with, is after a seizure, I get the most terrible headaches. Anything you can suggest?
Yeah, so there are a few different things for headaches. Again, you'd have to check that it's okay with your medication. So peppermint is a good one for headaches. Just rub it on your temples here and across your forehead. Avoid your eyes because it's very strong, normally peppermint, and obviously it can make your eyes water. But if so that's the one I'd start with, is just using some peppermint. If that doesn't help, then add lavender as your next one. And then another good one for pain is lemongrass. So however, that one you really need to be careful with the amount that you apply to your skin. So really, really dilute that one. And again, just apply it to your temples and over your forehead. If it's really, really bad, do it down the sides of your neck and round the back of your neck as well. And it should, usually within less than 20 minutes, most people's headaches or migraines tend to go away, which is usually, they normally kick in quicker than, say, paracetamol, for instance. So
that is lovely to know. I will be speaking to you about that later on today.
No problem.
You said about rubbing them into your temple or into the side of your head, back of your neck. Are there any other ways to be able to use essential oils if you don't necessarily want them on your skin?
Yeah, so you can use what we call a diffuser. So this is my diffuser. It's just a little plastic thing. Just add some water into there, and it's an electric diffuser. So because it's a cold water diffuser, you'll get all the therapeutic benefits from it. You can also use like an oil burner. I don't have mine to hand. However, I don't tend to recommend that way because you do damage the constituents in the oils, so you won't get the full benefits of it. However, if that's all you've got, then use that. You can also put it on some cotton wool and peg it to yourself. So if you don't have an actual diffuser, there are other ways you can use it, like use it as in a diffusion way. So cotton balls are really good for that. At night, I just tend to drop it on my actual pillow. It might damage the fibers, so be careful if you do things like that. So for me, I'm like, it helps me sleep. I'm happy with doing that. So, but I would be careful putting it on any material or any surfaces because it can damage them then.
Okay.
Yeah, so topical and inhalation are the best ways to use them. Some people say ingestion. I really don't recommend ingestion, especially if you're on medication, and ingestion is a bit of a really dodgy topic. So I wouldn't recommend doing that at all.
So don't
myself.
put a couple of drops in a glass of water then?
No, please don't. No. Yeah, just no. So
remember,
you will see. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I remember as a child, my grandmother, if I had a cold or a sore throat, she used to get a bowl of hot water and put Vicks vapor rub in, and I had to put my head over it, and she'd put a towel over my head. Is that still a good way to use these?
Yeah, that is a really good way to do it, especially when you're congested and stuff. And if you just want to help your skin as well, it's a really good way of doing it because you open up your pores and it's like a reverse osmosis then. So yeah, it's really, really good way of doing it. Another way is to put some in your hand. I always recommend you use a carrier oil because they can make your skin very sensitive. So pop it in your hand with a carrier oil or a cream, whichever way. Just mix them all together, put them over your mouth and breathe in nice and deep, about 5 times. If you're feeling anxious, worried, having a brain fog moment, and you're like, right, just sit back, breathe in my rosemary or whatever oil is appropriate for you, and yeah, and then go again. And it really does make such a difference. Like when I'm in a really bad mood, I have to go to my wild orange and I do that, and I'm like, oh, so happy again. So it's amazing at the difference that they do make. Some of them I really don't like the smell of, but I know that they work for what I'm using them for, so I tend to put them on like the lower parts of my body so I can just cover them up so I don't have to smell it. And it still works. So
What's a carrier oil?
oh yes, okay, so carrier oils are normally fatty oils. So things like fractionated coconut oil, jojoba oil, olive oil, sunflower oil, any cooking oils, basically you can use. So yeah, some obviously are nicer on your skin, and others not so much. So I tend to use fractionated coconut oil a lot because it stays in a liquid form, and a jojoba oil I really like. So there's a few different ones. Like if you've got more mature skin, like evening primrose oil is a nice one to use. If you've got really dry skin, then sweet almond oil is a good one. So it, like, again, it's just to make the essential oils be diluted because they're very, very strong, and it'll make them last longer. So we save some money, so that's always good. And they can cover a bigger area. And because essential oils evaporate quickly, because they're volatile, the carrier oil actually will keep them on your skin for longer, so you actually get more of them into your skin. So it's always better to use a carrier oil than it is to not use one. So yeah, I'd always recommend using one, because especially if you've got sensitive skin as well.
Okay. I know that this is going to be a really daft question, and for anybody listening, and for you, Sam, I am sorry, but I've got to ask it. Don't rub your eyes after you've put any sort of oil on your hands. Go and wash your hands first.
Definitely. Not a stupid question, you'd be surprised. Yeah, always, and especially after you've been using oils, even if you think you haven't got any in your hands, go and wash your hands with soap and water, because guaranteed you will have some sort of residue on your hand, because I've done that too many times. So yes, wash your hands. If you do happen to get essential oils in your eyes, do not use water, use the carrier oil to wash it out. I know that doesn't sound right, but because oil and water don't mix, or milk, you can use milk as well, because water and oil don't mix, it won't come out. You need the carrier oil or the milk, you need something with fat in it to remove it, and then you can wash it with water afterwards. So the same as if you get some on your skin and it starts itching, burning, add carrier oil first and then wash off with soap and water. Or you can use milk and then wash off with soap and water, because that will get rid of the actual essential oil. Water won't. So that's another safety thing. So yes, you need to be safe with your oils. But they are amazing. Yeah. But they are amazing things to use, and please, I hope I haven't scared you from using them, because they are very easy to use as well.
Yeah.
So I make up, oh, I have them here. Where are they? So I tend to use like roller balls, so I make them up into these little roller balls. So they're already diluted, and you can literally just roll them onto your head easy, so you don't have to worry about dilutions and all that, all going, oh, hang on, have I got my carrier oil on me, have I got my essential oils on me? You can literally pop them in your handbag and off you go, or in your pocket. They're so small, they're really easy to carry around. So if you end up with a headache when you're out and about, you can feel one coming on, you can chuck that on quite quickly. Or if you think, oh, I really need to remember some stuff, I can't quite get it, again, you got it in your roller ball, off you go, chuck it on, and you're good to go. You don't have to carry loads around with you, because you can just make up small quantities, and you can make up the blends that work for you, and off you go, you know you've got them ready. So I always have one for my allergies. I have one to help with deeper breathing for when I exercise, and I have one for digestion, always on me, or 9 times out of 10 on me. So
as the same with nearly everything else, there are brands that are great brands to use, and there are brands that are just not worth the money that you've spent on them. Is there a brand that you would recommend?
So I've gone through lots of essential oil brands, and no, they aren't all created equally. Unfortunately, because it's an unregulated market, they actually only need to have 5% of the actual oil that they're claiming, and they can label it as 100% pure. So again, is another thing that you've got to be very mindful of if you're getting a quality essential oil. I use a brand called doTERRA. I'm not saying they're the only pure brand out there, because there are others, I'm sure. However, they are the ones I use. I know what I'm getting with them. It's consistent, and I'm happy to pay their prices. I know they're a bit more expensive than other places, but I know I'm getting a good product, so that's why I stick with them. I just urge anyone to really do their research and make sure they're getting a really good product, because there's so much adulteration that goes on, and some of it's quite nasty. There's like the pesticides, the chemicals that you don't really want on your skin. So yeah, just be careful what brands you're buying, because there are some bad ones out there. If you get what's called is it GCMS testing on your oils, chances are they're pretty good. So that's what you need to look out for. If they won't give you that document, usually means that they haven't carried out that test, and you might have some stuff that you don't really want in there.
Yeah, okay. I know we've talked about it already. For the app, you're going to give us various different recipes for different types of oils to use for different things, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Sam, you've given us loads of information and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you very much. If anybody has any questions and they want to get through to you, how do they contact you?
Okay, so I've got lots of ways for you to contact me. I have a Facebook group called Sam's Essential Oils. You can message me on that. My Instagram is Sam's Essential Oils as well. Feel free to message me on that. My email address is Samantha Phillips, got double L in Phillips, 1988.sp@gmail.com. Email me on that. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Don't panic, I won't ever ask you to buy anything off me, or I'm not like that. I genuinely just want to help people, and I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to work with you, Victoria.
Thank you very, very much. Sam, we will be putting all of your information below, and thank you very much for chatting to me. It's been great, and I hope anybody that's watching or listening to this is going to get as much benefit from it as I am, and I most certainly look forward to speaking to you, well, actually later on today and in the future. I think that improving my memory, cognitive function, brain fog and headaches is going to be a massive help to me. So thank you so much, and I hope everybody that's watched or listened has enjoyed us. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.